3 people are dead in Union City, Michigan right now. A tornado ripped homes clean off their foundations yesterday. And this is not over, not even close, because in the next 72 hours, another dangerous storm system is going to slam into the heartland, and this one could be even worse. If you live anywhere from Texas to the Great Lakes, the next 5 days could be the most dangerous stretch of severe weather we have seen all year, and I am going to tell you exactly when it hits your city, hour by hour. But here is the thing most weather channels will not tell you. There is a hidden setup in the atmosphere right now, a cut-off low-pressure system sitting off Baja California that is about to get kicked into the mainland United States. And when it does, it is going to collide with record-breaking warmth across the eastern half of the country. We are talking temperatures 20 to 30 degrees above average. In some spots, nearly 40 degrees above normal. That collision between extreme warmth and incoming Arctic air is the perfect recipe for violent tornadoes, destructive straight-line winds, and hail the size of quarters or larger. I am going to break down every single detail for you, city by city, hour by hour, so you know exactly what is coming and when. Now, before we go any further, I need you to do something. Drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from, your city, your state, because I am going to be covering over 270 cities and locations across the United States in this forecast, and I want to make sure your area gets the attention it deserves. If you comment your location, I will make sure to address it in upcoming videos. So do that right now while it is fresh on your mind. And here is your first reward for sticking with me. In the next 60 seconds, I am going to show you the exact cities that are in the highest danger zone for Tuesday, March 10th. And then at the 5-minute mark, I am going to reveal something that almost nobody is talking about yet, a potential pattern change that could flip everything on its head by the middle of March, a possible blizzard in March, in areas that just got hit by tornadoes. Stay with me because that information could save your life or at the very least save you from being caught completely off guard. Let us start with what just happened, because understanding yesterday helps you survive tomorrow. On Friday, March 6th, 2026, the United States experienced a full-blown tornado outbreak. This was not a minor event. This was an outbreak that stretched from northeast Oklahoma near Tulsa, all the way through northeast Texas, into southwestern Arkansas, and then up into southwestern lower Michigan. Union City, Michigan took a direct hit. 3 lives lost, multiple injuries, homes torn from their foundations, devastation across that community, and my heart goes out to every single person affected. But here is what you need to understand. The atmospheric setup that caused Friday's outbreak is not going away. It is reloading, and the next round is going to be stronger in terms of raw energy. The thermodynamic setup for Tuesday is more powerful than what we saw on Friday. We are looking at 3,000 joules per kilogram of convective available potential energy in parts of the Midwest. For those of you who do not speak meteorology, that is an enormous amount of storm fuel. It is like filling up a gas tank to the point where it is overflowing. That energy has to go somewhere, and it goes into violent thunderstorms. Now, let me walk you through what is happening right now, today, Saturday, March 7th, because there are still active threats across the country as we speak. Right now, a squall line is pushing from Ohio all the way back down to central Texas. Along the leading edge of this line, we are seeing damaging wind gusts in the 60 to 70 mile per hour range, quarter-sized hail, and the potential for spin-up tornadoes. This line is moving southeast through the afternoon and into the evening hours. If you are in Columbus, Ohio, you need to be watching this closely through the next 2 to 3 hours. Cincinnati, same thing. Louisville, Kentucky, be alert through late afternoon. Nashville, Tennessee, your window for the strongest storms is from about 4 in the afternoon through 8 tonight. If you are in Birmingham, Alabama, or Jackson, Mississippi, the heaviest activity reaches you by late evening between 8 and midnight. Down along the Gulf Coast, Houston, Texas, Beaumont, Lake Charles, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, you are dealing with training thunderstorms. That means storms are repeatedly forming and moving over the same areas. This is a flash flood setup. 1 to 3 inches of rainfall is expected across East Texas, Louisiana, southeastern Arkansas, all of Mississippi, and into western Alabama. Some spots could see even more than that. There is a slight risk for excessive rainfall from the Arklatex region down through the lower Mississippi Delta, and there is a marginal risk for flooding all the way up to Lake Ontario in western New York State. So Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, do not let your guard down either. Now here is where it gets really important. Do not skip ahead. The storms today are just the opening act. What is coming Tuesday and Wednesday is the main event. Let me take you through tomorrow first. Sunday, March 8th. A much lower threat day overall, but not zero. There is a low-end risk for hail and wind across North Carolina and southeast Virginia. If you are in Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville, Rocky Mount, Elizabeth City, Virginia Beach, Newport News, Richmond, keep an eye on the sky tomorrow afternoon. The tornado threat is minimal tomorrow. This would be more of a straight-line wind and small hail event, but any storm that fires in the warm sector could be strong. The good news about Sunday is that it gives everyone in the central United States a chance to prepare because Monday is relatively quiet too, and then Tuesday arrives. Here is the setup for Tuesday, March 10th, and I want you to pay close attention because this is the day that has every meteorologist in the country on edge. Remember that cutoff low-pressure system I mentioned sitting off Baja, California? By Monday into Tuesday, it gets picked up by the northern jet stream and ejected into the mainland United States. When this happens, it phases with the polar jet to the north. How strongly these two systems merge will directly determine how intense the severe weather becomes. But let me tell you what the data is already showing. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a Day 4 outlook for severe weather on Tuesday. They are highlighting an area from central Texas all the way up through the Midwest, including Illinois, Indiana, southeastern Iowa, and the Missouri Ozarks. This is a widespread severe weather threat. Now let me give you the city-by-city breakdown for Tuesday, March 10th, starting in the morning. Through about 11 in the morning Central Time, most areas should be quiet. This is the calm before the storm. Use this time to charge your devices, review your severe weather plan, and make sure you know where your safe room is. By noon to 1 in the afternoon, Central Time, supercell thunderstorms are expected to begin firing near the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and up toward Tulsa, Oklahoma. These initial storms have the potential to be tornadic. If you are in Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano, McKinney, Denton, Waco, Temple, or any of the surrounding communities, your threat window begins around noon and extends through 4 in the afternoon. If you are in Tulsa, Broken Arrow, Muskogee, Bartlesville, Joplin, Missouri, your window starts around the same time, noon to 1 in the afternoon, and goes through 5 or 6 in the evening. Here is the part that most people are not paying attention to. And this is what I promised you at the beginning of this video. The warm front. Everyone focuses on the cold front and the dry line, and those are important. But the warm front is where some of the most dangerous tornadoes can form. We learned that lesson painfully in Union City, Michigan on Friday. The tornado that killed 3 people formed along the warm front, not the cold front. On Tuesday, the warm front will be draped across northern Illinois, northwest Indiana, and southeastern Iowa. And look at this temperature gradient. You could be in the mid to upper 70s in southeastern Iowa and northern Illinois. Drive 3 hours north to central Wisconsin, and you are in the mid-30s with snow falling. That is a 40-degree temperature difference over just a couple hundred miles. When you see that kind of contrast in mid-March, you know the atmosphere is primed for extreme weather. So if you are in Chicago, Naperville, Aurora, Joliet, Rockford, Freeport, the Quad Cities, Peoria, Springfield, Illinois, Champaign, Bloomington, you need to be on high alert Tuesday afternoon and evening. Your threat window runs from about 2 in the afternoon through 9 at night Central Time. The significant tornado parameter space is elevated across northwestern Illinois. This means the ingredients are in place for strong, potentially violent tornadoes along that warm front. Des Moines, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Davenport, the eastern half of Iowa needs to be watching as well. Your window is 2 in the afternoon through 8 in the evening, now moving south along the cold front and dry line. Oklahoma City, Norman, Moore, Edmond, Stillwater, your threat begins around 1 in the afternoon and extends through 6 in the evening. This is a supercell environment. Discrete storms capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. Wichita, Kansas, Topeka, Manhattan, Lawrence, your window is 1 to 5 in the afternoon. Little Rock, Arkansas, Fort Smith, Fayetteville, Jonesboro, your threat begins around 3 in the afternoon and continues through 9 at night. Springfield, Missouri, Branson, the entire Ozarks region, 2 in the afternoon through 8 in the evening. St. Louis, Missouri, Columbia, Jefferson City, your window runs from 3 in the afternoon to 9 at night. Indianapolis, Indiana, Fort Wayne, Terre Haute, Lafayette, Muncie, your threat develops by late afternoon, around 4 to 5, and continues through 10 at night. And here is something that should grab your attention. By Tuesday afternoon, the European model is showing a massive area of instability and wind shear overlapping from Dallas all the way to Chicago. That is over 800 miles of severe weather potential in a single day. Tuesday, March 10th, could be a significant severe weather day. I am not saying this to scare you. I am saying this because being prepared is the difference between life and death when tornadoes strike. Now let me carry you into Wednesday, March 11th, because the threat does not end on Tuesday. As the main system pushes eastward, the severe weather threat shifts to the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and the Gulf Coast states. Cleveland, Ohio. Akron, Canton, Youngstown, your threat window on Wednesday is from noon through 6 in the evening, and remember this area saw the highest wind shear during Saturday's event. Wednesday could bring another round of strong storms. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Erie, Altoona State College, your window is from 1 in the afternoon to 7 in the evening. Nashville, Tennessee. Memphis, Knoxville, Chattanooga, your threat runs from about 11 in the morning through 5 in the afternoon. Jackson, Mississippi. Hattiesburg, Meridian, Tupelo, your window is from 10 in the morning through 4 in the afternoon. New Orleans, Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Shreveport, Mobile, Alabama, your window starts around 9 in the morning and runs through 3 in the afternoon. Birmingham, Alabama. Montgomery, Huntsville, Tuscaloosa, your threat window is from 11 in the morning through 6 in the evening. Atlanta, Georgia. Macon, Augusta, Columbus, Georgia, severe storms possible by late afternoon Wednesday into Thursday morning. And do not forget, the Storm Prediction Center does not yet have an official outlook for Wednesday because confidence is still building. But the pattern is there, the ingredients are there, and history tells us that when Tuesday is this loaded, Wednesday typically delivers a secondary round. Now let me talk about something that is going to blow your mind. Do not skip past this section. By Thursday, March 12th, the areas that just got hit by severe thunderstorms and possible tornadoes could be looking at snow. Yes, snow. On the backside of this system, a strong cold front will drag Arctic air southward, and the snow line is going to shift much further south than you might expect for mid-March. Central Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, you could see accumulating snowfall by Thursday into Friday. And this is not a light dusting. The models are showing meaningful accumulations. Slushy on the pavement in some spots, sticking on the grass in others, the Great Lakes region, New England, portions of the northern Ohio Valley, all of these areas need to be prepared for a potential transition from severe thunderstorms to winter weather within a matter of hours. Michigan just had a violent tornado on Friday. They could be dealing with a snowstorm by the following weekend. That is March for you. A true battleground of seasons. And now here is the part I told you to wait for. The pattern change that almost nobody is talking about yet. The European model and the GFS model are both hinting at a significant shift in the overall weather pattern by the middle of March. Right now, we have been in this warm, active, severe weather pattern with temperatures running 20 to 30 degrees above average across the eastern United States. But by March 15th through the 22nd or 23rd, both models are showing a transition to northwest flow across the eastern half of the country. What does that mean for you? It means colder air funneling down from Canada across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and New England, and warmer air building across the western United States underneath a persistent ridge of high pressure. But here is the twist. The European model is showing something that honestly made me do a double take. A potential nor'easter developing around the middle of March. Combined with northwest flow snow events across the Midwest and into New England, we could be looking at significant snowfall in areas that right now are enjoying 70 and 80-degree weather. How much snow are we talking about? It is too early to give exact amounts. The European model is more aggressive, showing potentially a foot or more of snow in parts of New England. The GFS model is further north with the track and shows less snow in New England. Those fine details will become clearer over the next 7 to 10 days, but the pattern recognition is there. The confidence in getting snowfall is moderate to high. It is the amounts that are still uncertain, and there is more. The GFS model has been consistently showing in its last 4 runs a very intense winter storm developing around the middle of March. We are talking about a 980 millibar surface low-pressure system. That is a deep, powerful storm. If this verifies, we could see blizzard conditions across parts of Wisconsin, the upper Great Lakes, and into the northern plains. Strong, damaging winds from Indiana down into Kentucky, and possibly rare mid-March snow accumulations in Indiana and the Ohio Valley on the backside of this system. Wisconsin alone could potentially see 2 to 4 feet of snowfall from this pattern over the next couple of weeks if the models verify. Quebec and Ontario, Canada are also looking at multiple feet. Now, I want to be clear, these snowfall projections are still in the medium range forecast. The data changes with every model run, but the fact that multiple models across multiple runs keep showing this pattern should tell you something. Something is coming. The atmosphere is loading up for a volatile second half of March. Let me now give you the complete temperature picture for the coming days so you know exactly what to expect. For the rest of this weekend, the warm air ahead of the cold front continues to dominate across the eastern United States. If you are east of the Mississippi River, enjoy the warmth because it is about to change. By Monday and Tuesday, record-breaking warmth surges back in. We could see temperatures near 80 degrees up in the Midwest. In mid-March, Chicago could flirt with 80. Indianapolis could hit the upper 70s or low 80s. St. Louis, Kansas City, Des Moines, all pushing into the mid to upper 70s. The Dakotas could shatter all-time records for this time of year. Minnesota, same story. Parts of the Northeast will be 15 to 25 degrees above normal. Wednesday morning, before the storms hit, Indiana and the Ohio Valley could wake up to temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. In March, nearly 40 degrees above normal for the morning hours. That is absolutely extraordinary. Then the cold front slams through Wednesday afternoon and evening. By Thursday morning, those same areas drop into the mid to upper 20s. You go from the low 70s to the mid 20s in less than 24 hours. That is a temperature crash of 40 to 50 degrees, and it does not stop there. Another brief warm-up may occur, and then a second, even stronger shot of Arctic air arrives around the middle of March. The northern plains and upper Midwest could see temperatures well below average for this time of year. Meanwhile, out west, the picture is different. California, the desert Southwest, the inner mountain west, these areas stay warm. The ridge of high pressure keeps temperatures above average across the western states. Parts of California could see low 80s next week. Arizona, Nevada, Utah, above average and pleasant. But the Pacific Northwest, Washington, and Oregon will see heavy rainfall. The Olympic Mountains could receive up to a foot of rainfall over the next 10 days. The Cascades will see heavy snowfall at higher elevations. Flood concerns are real for the valleys of western Washington and Oregon. Now, before I give you the complete region-by-region breakdown, let me explain something critical about why this particular setup is so dangerous. And I mean genuinely dangerous, not clickbait dangerous. When meteorologists talk about a phasing event, they mean two separate pieces of energy in the atmosphere are merging into one supersystem. That is exactly what is about to happen. The cutoff low off Baja California has been spinning in place for days, building up moisture and energy. Meanwhile, the polar jet stream to the north is screaming across the northern tier of the country. When that Baja low gets ejected and absorbed into the polar jet, all of that stored energy gets released at once. Think of it like two rivers merging into one. The flow gets faster, more powerful, and more destructive. The key question right now, and this is what every forecaster in the country is wrestling with, is how strongly these two systems phase together. A weak phase means a bad but manageable severe weather day. A strong phase means a potentially historic outbreak. The data right now is leaning toward a moderate to strong phase. That is why the Storm Prediction Center issued their Day 4 outlook so early. They see it too. And here is another factor that makes this setup particularly tricky: the warm front. I cannot stress this enough. Most people think tornadoes only happen along cold fronts or dry lines. That is not true. Some of the most violent tornadoes in history have occurred along warm fronts. The reason is that warm fronts create an environment where wind shear is maximized in a very focused area. The storms that form along warm fronts tend to be slower moving, which means they have more time to intensify. They also tend to be rain-wrapped, meaning you cannot see the tornado because it is hidden behind a curtain of rain. That is what makes warm front tornadoes so deadly. You cannot see them coming. On Tuesday, that warm front will be positioned across northern Illinois and northwest Indiana. If you live in that area, I am talking to you directly. Do not rely on your eyes to spot a tornado on Tuesday. Rely on your weather radio. Rely on your cell phone alerts. Rely on local television. If a tornado warning is issued for your county, take shelter immediately. Do not go outside to look. These are not the photogenic tornadoes you see on storm chaser videos. These are the ones that kill people because they are invisible until they are on top of you. Let me also address the hail threat for Tuesday because it is significant. Down in Texas and Oklahoma, the updrafts in these supercell thunderstorms are going to be exceptionally strong. Strong updrafts mean large hail. We are talking quarter-size to golf ball-size hail across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex through central Oklahoma and into southern Kansas. If you have a vehicle, get it in a garage. If you do not have a garage, consider covering it with blankets or moving it under a carport. Hail damage to vehicles and roofs is going to be a major issue with this event. And here is a detail that a lot of people overlook. The timing of this system means that the most dangerous storms in the southern plains will be occurring during the afternoon when people are at work, when kids are at school. If you are a parent, make sure your child at school has a severe weather plan. Call them Monday if you need to. If you are an employer, make sure your employees know what to do if a tornado warning is issued. These are the practical steps that save lives. For the folks along the Gulf Coast, I need to talk about the rainfall situation in more depth. The soil across East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama is already saturated from recent rainfall events. When you pour another 2 to 4 inches of rain on top of already saturated ground, the water has nowhere to go except into streets, into homes, into low-lying areas. The lower Mississippi Delta is especially vulnerable. Cities along the river, along bayous, along creeks, these are the places where flash flooding can turn deadly in minutes. Do not wait for a flood warning to act. If water starts rising near your home, move to higher ground immediately. The Ark-La-Tex region, that is the border area where Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas meet, is looking at some of the highest rainfall totals. Texarkana, Shreveport, Monroe, El Dorado, these cities could see repeated rounds of heavy rain from Saturday through Wednesday. Cumulative totals could approach 5 or 6 inches in the hardest hit spots. Storm drains are not designed to handle that kind of volume in that short a time. And one more thing before the regional breakdown. Let me talk about the 500 millibar height chart for those of you who want to understand why this pattern is so extreme. At 18,000 feet above the surface, we are seeing a massive ridge of high pressure over the eastern United States right now. That ridge is what is giving us these insane temperatures, 20 to 30 degrees above average. But that ridge is about to get bulldozed by an incoming trough from the west. When a strong trough replaces a strong ridge, the atmosphere goes through a violent adjustment. That adjustment manifests as severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, and rapidly changing conditions at the surface. It is the atmospheric equivalent of a dam breaking. All that pent-up energy has to be released, and it gets released violently. The 500 millibar pattern also explains why we are going to see such extreme temperature swings this week. Ahead of the trough, warm southwesterly winds pull tropical moisture and heat northward. Behind the trough, cold northwesterly winds drag Arctic air southward. The battleground between these two air masses is where the severe weather explodes. And that battleground on Tuesday sits squarely across the central United States from Texas to Chicago. By the way, here is something fascinating and slightly terrifying. The temperature anomalies for Wednesday morning across Indiana and the Ohio Valley are showing readings nearly 40 degrees above normal. We are talking morning low temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. In March, in Indiana, that has never happened. And when you flip the script just 24 hours later and Thursday morning drops into the mid to upper 20s, that is a temperature swing of roughly 45 degrees in a single day. The atmosphere does not handle that kind of whiplash quietly. Now let me also address the situation out west because Western viewers, I have not forgotten about you. The Cascades and the Olympic Mountains in Washington state could receive up to a foot of rainfall at lower elevations and feet of snowfall at higher elevations over the next 10 days. The Sierra Nevada in California will also see significant snowpack additions. This is actually good news for water supply in California and the Pacific Northwest, but it also means flood concerns in valley communities. The Willamette Valley in Oregon, the Puget Sound lowlands in Washington, the Sacramento Valley in California, all of these areas need to monitor river levels over the next 2 weeks. For the desert Southwest, Phoenix, Tucson, Las Vegas, you are sitting pretty. The ridge of high pressure keeps you warm and dry. Temperatures in the low 80s are possible next week across southern Arizona. Enjoy it, but do not let the nice weather fool you into complacency. If you have family or friends in the central or eastern United States, reach out to them this weekend and make sure they are prepared for what is coming. All right, now here is the complete region by region breakdown. Find your area and listen carefully, starting in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, Portland, Eugene, Salem, Medford, Spokane. You are looking at rounds of rain through the next 10 days. Mountain snow for the Cascades and Olympics. No severe thunderstorm threat, but flooding is a concern in low-lying areas and river valleys. Temperatures stay near or slightly above average. The Mountain West. Boise, Idaho, Salt Lake City, Provo, Ogden, Missoula, Great Falls, Billings, Montana, Cheyenne, Casper, Wyoming, Denver, Colorado Springs, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Conditions generally dry through early next week, with temperatures running above average. By midweek, a cold front could bring gusty winds and a brief cool down. Denver could see a swing from the 60s and 70s early in the week to the 30s and 40s by Thursday. Mountain snow possible in the Rockies by midweek. The Northern Plains, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks, North Dakota, Sioux Falls, Rapid City, Aberdeen, South Dakota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Duluth, Rochester, Minnesota. Record-breaking warmth early in the week. We are talking 60s and possibly 70s in spots that normally see 30s and 40s this time of year. Then the bottom drops out. By Thursday and Friday, temperatures plummet back to near or below average. Snow returns by the following weekend. The potential blockbuster winter storm around March 15th could deliver significant snowfall to this region. The upper Midwest and Great Lakes, Milwaukee, Green Bay, Madison, Wisconsin, Grand Rapids, Detroit, Lansing, Ann Arbor, Traverse City, Michigan, Gary, South Bend, Indiana. Warm and potentially record-breaking temperatures, Monday through Wednesday. Severe weather threat Tuesday afternoon and evening, especially along the warm front in northern Illinois and northwest Indiana. By Thursday, temperatures crash. Snow possible by Friday into the weekend. Wisconsin could be looking at feet of snow if the mid-March storm verifies. The Ohio Valley. Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, Toledo, Akron, Cleveland, Ohio, Louisville, Lexington, Kentucky, Charleston, Huntington, West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Erie, Pennsylvania. Warm and humid ahead of the storms. Severe weather threat Wednesday, with strong storms, wind, hail, and an isolated tornado possible. Thursday brings a dramatic cool down. Potential for light snow accumulations on the backside of the system by late Thursday into Friday. The Northeast. New York City, Newark, Jersey City, Philadelphia, Trenton, Hartford, New Haven, Providence, Boston, Worcester, Springfield, Massachusetts, Portland, Maine, Burlington, Vermont, Albany, Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, New York. Temperatures well above average through Wednesday. Some rain and thunderstorms possible midweek as the front moves through. The big story here is the potential nor'easter by the middle of March. If this develops, significant snowfall is on the table. Even if it does not fully verify as a nor'easter, northwest flow snow is likely for parts of New England by the third week of March. The Mid-Atlantic. Washington, District of Columbia, Baltimore, Maryland, Richmond, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Wilmington, Delaware, Dover, Annapolis. Warm and pleasant early in the week. Thunderstorms possible Wednesday into Thursday as the front passes. Brief cool down follows. Keep watching for a potential secondary severe weather event Thursday if storms extend into Georgia and the Carolinas. The Southeast. Raleigh, Charlotte, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Asheville, Wilmington, North Carolina, Columbia, Charleston, Greenville, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Savannah, Augusta, Atlanta, Macon, Columbus, Albany, Georgia, Jacksonville, Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tallahassee, Pensacola, Florida. Sunday brings a low-end severe threat to the Carolinas and Virginia. Damaging winds and small hail are the primary threats. By Wednesday and Thursday, the main severe weather push could bring stronger storms into Georgia and South Carolina. Florida stays mostly warm and humid with typical afternoon thunderstorm chances. The Gulf Coast and Deep South. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Shreveport, Louisiana, Jackson, Hattiesburg, Meridian, Biloxi, Gulfport, Tupelo, Mississippi, Birmingham, Montgomery, Huntsville, Mobile, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Tennessee. This region faces multiple rounds of heavy rainfall through the weekend and again midweek. Flash flood risk is elevated because the soil is already saturated from recent rains. Severe weather threat returns Wednesday with storms capable of tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. The Tennessee Valley is especially vulnerable. Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Waco, Temple, Lubbock, Amarillo, Midland, Odessa, El Paso, Corpus Christi, Beaumont, Tyler, Longview, Abilene, Laredo, Brownsville, McAllen, College Station. Today, thunderstorms are ongoing across East Texas with heavy rainfall and flood concerns. Tuesday is the big day. Dallas-Fort Worth. The primary threat window runs from noon to 4 in the afternoon. San Antonio, Austin, and Waco. Your window is from 11 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Houston, Beaumont. Your threat arrives later, around 3 to 7 in the evening as the line pushes southeast. West Texas stays mostly dry. El Paso, Midland, Odessa, Lubbock, Amarillo. You are on the dry side of this system. Oklahoma. Oklahoma City, Norman, Tulsa, Broken Arrow, Lawton, Enid, Stillwater, Edmond, Moore, Muskogee. Tuesday is your day to watch. Supercell thunderstorms expected from early afternoon through early evening. Tornado potential is significant. If you do not have a safe room or storm shelter, identify your safest interior room now. Public shelters in your community may be open. Check with your local emergency management office. Kansas, Wichita, Topeka, Lawrence, Manhattan, Overland Park, Salina, Dodge City, Garden City. The eastern half of Kansas is in the threat zone for Tuesday. Western Kansas stays drier. Wichita and Topeka, your window is 1 to 5 in the afternoon. Missouri and Arkansas, St. Louis, Kansas City, Springfield, Columbia, Jefferson City, Joplin, Missouri, Little Rock, Fort Smith, Fayetteville, Jonesboro, Hot Springs, Pine Bluff, Texarkana, Arkansas. Both states face severe weather Tuesday afternoon through the evening. The Ozarks region is particularly at risk. Flash flooding concerns on top of the severe storm threat due to heavy rainfall training over the same areas. Illinois, Chicago, Rockford, Peoria, Springfield, Champaign, Bloomington, Decatur, Carbondale, Quincy, the Quad Cities. Tuesday afternoon and evening is your primary threat window. Northern Illinois along the warm front has the highest significant tornado potential. This is not a drill for this area. Prepare now. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. A weather radio, a cell phone app, a television, local sirens. Do not rely on just one. Indiana, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Evansville, South Bend, Terre Haute, Lafayette, Muncie, Anderson, Bloomington, Gary. Tuesday evening is your primary window. Northwest Indiana near the warm front faces elevated tornado risk. The rest of the state faces damaging winds and large hail as the primary threats. By Thursday, you could be scraping snow off your windshield. Prepare for both extremes. Iowa, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Davenport, Waterloo, Dubuque, Sioux City, Council Bluffs, Ames. Eastern Iowa is in the threat zone for Tuesday. The warm front drapes across southeastern Iowa, bringing enhanced tornado potential. Western Iowa faces a lower threat. Everyone should be prepared. The northern tier, Duluth, Minnesota, Marquette, Sioux, St. Marie, Michigan, Green Bay, Wausau, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. You are on the cold side of the front on Tuesday. While severe weather is less likely for you, you could see snow falling while areas just a few hundred miles south are experiencing tornadoes. And the potential mid-March winter storm could be a headline event for this region. And now a critical note about rainfall and flooding. Over the next 10 days, 3 to 6 inches of rainfall is possible across much of the Deep South, the Ozarks, and parts of the upper Midwest. Some areas could see even more when you factor in the multiple rounds of storms. Many of these areas are already dealing with drought conditions, so the initial rainfall will be welcome. But when it comes too fast, and it will in some places, flash flooding becomes a real danger. Every red area on the excessive rainfall outlook is a place where life-threatening flash floods are possible. East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, the lower Mississippi Delta, the Arc-La-Tex region. These are the highest risk areas for flooding over the next several days. If you live in a flood-prone area, know your escape routes. Never drive through flooded roadways. Turn around, do not drown. It only takes 6 inches of moving water to knock you off your feet and 12 inches to float a vehicle. And let me give you an important update on daylight saving time because this actually affects storm preparedness. Tonight we spring forward 1 hour. That means tomorrow at this time it will be 1 hour later than your clock currently reads. This also means it stays light 1 hour later in the evening, which is good news because Tuesday's storms in the Central Plains will be occurring during daylight hours. You will have better visibility to see approaching storms assuming they are not rain-wrapped. But it also means that if you normally wake up at 7 in the morning and it is bright outside, tomorrow it will still be dark at 7. Give yourself a few days to adjust your sleep schedule, especially with a potentially dangerous weather week ahead. You want to be alert, not groggy, if severe weather hits your area in the middle of the night. Now, I want to talk about something that does not get enough attention during severe weather events. Communication plans. Does your family have one? If a tornado strikes while you are at work and your spouse is at home and your kids are at school, does everyone know what to do? Does everyone know where to go? Do you have an out-of-state contact that everyone can check in with if local cell towers go down? These are the questions you should be answering this weekend while things are relatively calm. Do not wait until Tuesday afternoon when the sirens are going off. Here is a quick checklist. First, identify the safest room in your home. Interior room on the lowest floor, no windows. A bathroom, a closet, a basement. Second, make sure you have a weather radio with backup batteries. Third, download a severe weather app on your phone. The one from the National Weather Service is free and reliable. Fourth, put shoes and a flashlight by your bed. If a tornado strikes at 3 in the morning, you do not want to be walking through debris barefoot in the dark. Fifth, if you have a mobile home, identify a nearby sturdy building where you can take shelter. Mobile homes are death traps in tornadoes, period. There is no safe place inside a mobile home during a tornado. Get out and get to a sturdy structure. For those of you with pets, have a plan for them too. Keep carriers accessible. Make sure your pets are wearing identification tags. If you have to evacuate quickly, you do not want to be chasing a frightened dog through the house while a tornado is approaching. And for our viewers who are in areas that could see both severe weather and winter weather within the same week, make sure your vehicles are equipped for both scenarios. Keep an emergency kit in your car with water, non-perishable food, a blanket, a flashlight, a first aid kit, and a phone charger. Whether you are dealing with a flooded road from thunderstorms or a snow-covered highway from a late-season winter storm, that kit could be a lifesaver. Now, I want to talk about something that is genuinely remarkable about this pattern. We are watching a weather setup that produces tornadoes on Tuesday and potentially a blizzard by the following weekend in the same region. This kind of extreme shift is exactly what climate scientists have been warning about. The atmosphere is loaded with more energy than it used to be, and that energy manifests in more extreme swings. I am not making a political statement here. I am making a meteorological one. The data speaks for itself. When you see temperature anomalies of 40 degrees above normal, followed by temperature crashes of 45 degrees in 24 hours, that is an atmosphere that is under stress. And stressed atmospheres produce violent weather. Michigan experienced this firsthand. On Friday, a violent tornado killed 3 people in Union City. By next weekend, that same area could be buried under snow. In the span of 7 to 10 days, one community goes from tornado devastation to a winter storm. That is the reality of March 2026 weather in the United States. Now, let me talk about what the models are showing beyond this immediate threat, because I know many of you are thinking about the rest of March and into April. The European Ensemble model is suggesting that the active pattern continues through at least the 3rd week of March. We could see additional rounds of severe weather during any warm-up period that precedes the next cold front. The pattern of ridge building followed by trough digging appears to be locked in for at least the next 2 to 3 weeks. That means more temperature roller coasters, more severe weather opportunities, and more potential winter storms for the northern tier. The GFS extended range forecast shows a similar story. Multiple storm systems crossing the country in rapid succession. The Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and the Southern Plains are going to be the most active areas. If you live in any of these regions, this is your new normal for the next few weeks. Stay vigilant, stay prepared, and stay tuned to this channel because I am going to be tracking every single system for you. Now, let me also mention something for our viewers in the drought-stricken areas of the Southern Plains. Parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and West Texas have been dealing with severe drought conditions. This upcoming rain, while it brings severe weather risks, is desperately needed. The problem is that when drought-stressed soil gets hit with a wall of water from a supercell thunderstorm, it does not absorb it well. The ground becomes like concrete, so even in drought areas, flash flooding is possible during intense rainfall events. Do not assume that because your area is dry, you are safe from flooding. You are not. Now let me tie all of this together and give you the big picture. We are in the middle of a severe weather season that has gotten off to a running start. Multiple storm systems are lining up from west to east across the country. The jet stream pattern is amplified, which means extreme temperature swings, violent storms, and a volatile atmosphere for the foreseeable future. Here is your timeline summary. Today, Saturday, March 7th, active severe weather from Texas to the Great Lakes. Damaging winds, large hail, spin-up tornadoes along the squall line. Flash flood risk in the deep south tomorrow, Sunday, March 8th. Lower-end severe threat limited to the Carolinas and Virginia. Damaging winds and small hail. A recovery day for most of the country. Monday, March 9th. Generally quiet. Use this day to prepare for Tuesday, March 10th. The main event, widespread severe weather from Texas to the Midwest. Significant tornado potential, especially along the warm front in northern Illinois and northwest Indiana. Also high risk from Dallas to Tulsa to Oklahoma City. Supercells, large hail, damaging winds. Threat window runs from late morning in Texas to late evening in Indiana and Illinois. Wednesday, March 11th. Secondary severe weather event from the Ohio Valley to the Gulf Coast, Cleveland, Nashville, Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, all in the threat zone. Also watching for a winter storm developing across the Great Lakes with heavy snow and freezing rain for Wisconsin, Michigan, and southern Canada. Thursday, March 12th. Temperatures crash across the eastern United States. 5 to 15 degrees below average. Potential for snow on the backside of the system. Stronger storms possible in Georgia and South Carolina. Friday, March 13th through Sunday, March 15th. The pattern change begins. Northwest flow establishes across the eastern half of the country. Colder air moves in. Snow chances increase for the Great Lakes, Midwest, and New England. Watch for a potential major winter storm developing by the following weekend. Beyond that, the third week of March, March 15th through the 22nd, looks increasingly wintry for the eastern United States and increasingly warm for the western United States. Now, here is what I need from you. If you found this information valuable, and I know you did because you are still here, share this video with someone you care about. Share it with a family member in one of these threat areas. Share it with your neighbor. Share it with your coworker. Information saves lives. The more people who know what is coming, the more people who can prepare. And drop that comment telling me your city and state. I read every single comment, and I use your feedback to shape future coverage. If enough of you request detailed coverage for your area, I will make dedicated videos breaking down the forecast specifically for your region. Also, something really important, keep watching this channel over the next several days because the forecast is going to evolve. Models update every 6 hours. New data comes in constantly. What I have told you today is the best information available right now, but the details will sharpen as we get closer to Tuesday. I will be posting updated videos with the latest timing, the latest threat levels, and the latest city-by-city breakdowns. You do not want to miss those updates. And here is your teaser for the next video. Tomorrow, I am going to release an in-depth breakdown of the Tuesday severe weather event with the latest high-resolution model data. These are the 4K models, the ones that show individual storm cells and where they are most likely to produce tornadoes. I will have updated timing for every major city in the threat zone, and I will tell you whether the models are trending stronger or weaker compared to what I showed you today. Plus, I am going to dive deeper into that potential mid-March blizzard because the overnight model runs tonight could dramatically change the forecast. You are not going to want to miss that. Until then, make sure your weather radio has fresh batteries. Review your severe weather plan with your family. Know where your safe room is. And if you are in one of the threat areas for Tuesday, have your shoes by your bed Tuesday night. If a warning goes off at 2 in the morning, you do not want to be searching for your shoes in the dark. Let me also break down the overnight hours because that is when tornadoes are most deadly. Statistics show that nighttime tornadoes are 2.5 times more likely to be fatal than daytime tornadoes. The reason is simple. People are asleep. They cannot see the funnel cloud. They do not hear the sirens over their air conditioning or their television. And by the time the cell phone alert wakes them up, the tornado may already be on top of their home. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning is the most dangerous window for overnight tornadoes with this system. As the squall line and supercells push eastward from the Central Plains into the Ohio Valley and the Tennessee Valley, they will be arriving in many communities after dark. Memphis, Nashville, Louisville, Indianapolis, Columbus. These cities could be dealing with strong storms between midnight and 6 in the morning on Wednesday. That is prime sleeping hours. Set your weather radio to the loudest setting. Put your phone on the loudest alert setting. Sleep in an interior room if you can. Have shoes, a flashlight, and a helmet or bike helmet accessible. A helmet may sound extreme, but flying debris is the #1 cause of tornado fatalities, and a helmet protects the most vulnerable part of your body. For folks in mobile homes and manufactured housing, I cannot say this strongly enough. If a tornado warning is issued for your area at any point during this event, leave your mobile home immediately and go to a sturdy structure. If no sturdy structure is available, lie flat in a ditch or low-lying area and cover your head with your hands. A mobile home provides zero protection against a tornado. The statistics are devastating. Over 40% of tornado fatalities occur in mobile homes, even though only about 6% of the American population lives in them. That tells you everything you need to know. And one more thing for our senior viewers and those with mobility challenges. If you have trouble getting to your safe room quickly, pre-position yourself there when warnings are imminent. Do not wait for the tornado warning. Move to your safe room when the tornado watch is issued. A tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes. A tornado warning means a tornado has been spotted or indicated on radar. By the time the warning is issued, you may only have minutes. If you need extra time to get to safety, use the watch as your trigger to move. For those of you who have storm shelters, whether in ground or above ground, check them this weekend. Make sure the door opens and closes properly. Make sure there is no standing water inside. Stock them with water, a flashlight, a weather radio, a first aid kit, and any medications you take daily. If you have to spend an hour in your shelter, you want to be comfortable and prepared. All right, let me also address some frequently asked questions I get during active severe weather patterns. Will my area definitely get a tornado? No. Even in the highest risk areas, the vast majority of locations will not see a tornado. But the point of preparedness is that you do not know which specific neighborhoods will be hit. Everyone in the threat zone needs to be ready. Should I cancel travel plans for Tuesday? If you are driving through the Central Plains or the Midwest on Tuesday, I would strongly recommend adjusting your travel schedule. Drive in the morning before storms fire, or delay your trip until Wednesday if possible. Being caught in a vehicle during a tornado is one of the most dangerous scenarios imaginable. How accurate are these forecasts 4 days out? The Storm Prediction Center's Day 4 outlooks have gotten remarkably good in recent years. They correctly identify the general threat area about 75 to 80% of the time. The specific details like exact timing and which cities get hit will sharpen considerably as we get within 48 hours. That is why it is so important to keep watching for updates. What if I do not have a basement? Get to the lowest floor of your home in an interior room away from windows. A bathroom or a closet in the center of the house is ideal. Get under something sturdy like a heavy table and cover yourself with blankets or a mattress to protect against flying debris. Stay safe out there, America. The next 5 days are going to be a wild ride, but if you stay informed and stay prepared, you will get through it. I will see you in the next video with the latest updates. Share this with someone